So, I'm going to be discussing my ethical change and conflict papers. For my ethical paper, I decided to do To See or Not to See, which discusses Mr. Cole, who is an end stage cystic fibrosis patient who um, you observe coughing up bright red sputum on the morning of his discharge, and he begs you not to tell the physician because he wants to go home and die a peaceful death with his family. But you know that as a nurse, you have to report everything you see to the physician and let him decide. So you're faced with either telling the physician and letting him decide to keep Mr. Cole in the hospital a few extra days, and Mr. Cole could either stay there and maybe die where he doesn't want to die, or he could leave against medical advice and um, not have any of his medical bills paid for. Or you could not tell the physician, and Mr. Cole would go home and be peaceful and die as he wanted, but you would be stuck with the risk of having legal issues or losing your license. So basically, my conclusion was that it is best to tell the physician about the bright red sputum, but to also tell Mr. Cole that he might not be in the hospital until he dies. He might be able to go home. It's up to the physician, though, but that this is your job to report honest findings. And you would just hope that Mr. Cole would be allowed to go home as he wishes, but it's not your call to decide that, and you have to do your job. So for my change paper, I decided to write about when I failed acute conditions a few semesters ago. And this was a very different time in my life. I'd never had such a huge change. I'd always kind of been on track, per se, with my life. So it was very different to have to repeat a semester and be a semester behind and graduate, not on time. But it showed me that I can adjust to change very easily. So I found that my change style is normative re-educative, and this means that I have to be socialized into a change. And what really helped me was having friends in the new class who helped me to um, learn new study habits and study with me, and it really helped me to adjust to the change. I found that I'm a lot like Scurry in that I don't plan ahead like Sniff does. I can't really foresee a change coming. Um, but when I do encounter the change, I react quickly, and I'm more of a doer. So when something does happen, I like to react to it and just get something done instead of just sitting there idly, not doing anything. So that paper helped me realize that my change style could be better in that I could predict the change like Sniff, but I do like to react quickly to change and at least do something to cope or distract myself or something to get over the change. So for my final paper, my conflict paper, I discussed um, that my conflict style is more of an avoidance style. I don't really like conflict. I don't usually stand up for what I think is right unless I'm very passionate about it or I'm knowledgeable. Other than that, I'll usually just let any type of conflict I have just kind of slide under the rug. Um, I don't I just don't like to fight with people. So when conflict does arise, I usually just kind of walk away or change the subject or just kind of let it pass on by. Um, but I also found that my resolution style is a good one in that I can't hold grudges. And so I um I usually forgive people for conflict easily, or I just let it go easily. And if there ever is a continuation of the conflict, it's usually on the other part because I don't like conflict, so I don't keep it up. I don't carry it on or anything. So I found that this will be very helpful in the workplace because I won't hold grudges against doctors or other coworkers or patients who I do have conflict with. I like peace, so I like to keep the peace with others, especially in a professional setting. So this paper has been very eye-opening and educational for me.